Hey everyone, Coach Patrick here from Endurance Nation, back with another weekly check-in. Just taking a look at the calendar, January 26th, I'm recording this video, which means it is the end of our first month. We are 1/12 of the way through 2025. I just want you to pause for a second and just take that into account. Most of us count time as in time to race, right? Or amount of time I've been recovering, both of which seem either too soon or too slow or too much or too little. But when you think about your year in terms of chunks and you realize that 1/12 is already gone, 8% gone, it's hard to believe that how much time, like how little time we have left. And so as you start thinking about your season, if you haven't already started training like our athletes did in November or January with our out-season program, you are hella behind. If you're behind, we can help you out. You go to endurancestation.us, we've got free resources for you, and we can even get you into a modified version of our out-season to jumpstart you for your year. But if you're racing in April, May, or June, you, my friend, are in trouble. Whatever you're doing right now, I don't know how you found this video, but stop watching it after I finish this sentence and go find a training plan and get to work. Because no amount of sitting around or thinking about what you're going to be doing for race day matters until you actually start putting your body in motion and start learning where you are right now and building the fitness that's going to make you successful. All right. So for those of you on the team, or those of you on the schedule who understand that the winter is so important, I want to give you all a big set of kudos. This week across the US was crazy cold, crazy devastating if you're on the West Coast, and just really hard to train. And yet inside Endurance Station, in our community, I saw those pictures rolling in. Whether you're at -4, -24 degrees in Canada, or you're at 8 inches of snow in Florida, you're still getting it done. Beautiful sunny days in Mount Rainier, I saw that too, right? Just amazing. And as we look ahead to this year, I want you to understand that you're already doing the good work to get strong, but it's not always enough to simply do the work. So today I just wanted to reflect on what a great January looks like to prepare you for the rest of your year. Coming out of January right now, here are the 3 things that you should already know about yourself. You should know just how much rest you need. If you're following a protocol like Endurance Stations, you're doing a lot of hard work and a lot of rest as we build strength and critical power that we're going to carry into our endurance season. When you're doing this hard work, your body pushes back and says, hey, I see your intervals. I need rest. And your body is saying, this is how much rest I need. You should know now how much sleep you need before and how much sleep you need after. You should know how many calories you need before these critical sessions and how you need to fuel after. And that information is actually going to be really important. It's never the same from year to year, although we sure would love to use the same protein powder and sleep the same amount of time and use the same schedules last year. Life happens. Things change. And this last month has given you a real insight as to where your body is. And adapting to where you are now is actually a very critical skill to be successful as an endurance athlete. Not stop indexing off of where you want to be, that weight you want to be, or that speed you want to be, or that strength you want to be. Focus on where you are now and optimize now. Eliminating the problems now helps you get closer to where you want to be, not just continually just driving for that big number. Okay. The second thing that you should really know about yourself right now in the out season is where your weaknesses are mentally. Okay. Winter training is hard. Not just because we give you a quality program inside Endurance Station, aka that's coach speak for it's really goddamn hard. Yep, so sorry. When you think about what it means to actually get into a season and get into work, there's a great deal of work coming, especially on the endurance side. It's going to force you outside of your comfort zone. But if we don't get outside of our comfort zone before we get there, how can we be used to being outside of our comfort zone? We do the same type of training, zone 1 all year. It doesn't seem as hard later, but it's also technically not as hard because you're doing the same work. So it's not going to be any harder. So what we do in the winter is we actually push your limits higher and actually force you to really work on what we call our mental 6-pack. That's right. Understanding just how hard an interval is, getting past that first interval, which the first one is the worst one, and understanding how you can still continue to push yourself and defining new limits of what your potential is, each week getting better at pushing just a little bit harder. This is predominantly happening on the bike, but it can happen also on the run as you get smarter and more deliberate with your pacing and start maximizing your time on your 2 feet as you get better and better at pacing those run intervals and finding your peak execution in that run. I don't want you going crazy hard on the run, but I do want you putting in the work, right? So understanding where you are mentally allows you to understand moving in this rest of the year, what you can leverage now for the remainder of your short-term workouts, because February and March, still going to be cold in my book, and we can actually turn that knowledge now into strategic advantage, like how to breathe during those hard intervals, how to mentally prepare. What do we say to ourselves? What self-talk works? what self-talk doesn't work. We want to know that now and factor that in so we can actually be really good, become more of our better version of ourselves for February and March. That's 2 out of the 3 critical winter months when we're training. So it's a huge opportunity for you to see some great advancements. It also is going to help you prepare going into the season when even when you're doing endurance style work, there's going to be moments when you have to push through a hill or through the competition or whatever it may be. This is going to be a great opportunity for you to actually develop the mental and sort of tactical skills to be able to do that. Let's capture some of those key lessons here in January, right? And then the last thing you're going to learn from January is what's not working, right? People love to talk about what is working. I'm losing so much weight. I'm getting so much stronger. I look so much better. I'm so much smarter. I'm so handsome. I'm gorgeous. Yay. No, right? That's just all the crap that you see on social media. And the reality is that some of us are really struggling right now, whether it's like emotionally trying to wrap our heads around this big goal that we set for ourselves and we're not quite there yet. Totally par for the course. You, my friend, are not alone. Whether it's your body is pushing back and saying, I understand you want to do those mile repeats. I'm not having it. And that's your Achilles talking. It's not your coach, right? It's not your spouse. It's your Achilles, right? Or just in general, you just don't have that push. Like you're pushing up against the envelope and you know, like last year I was crushing it here. And this year you're like, I just fall to pieces every single time. What's happening? There's places where we are right now, all of us in a particular aspect of our training, life, or just this whole self in terms of being, where things are just not going as planned. It's time to step back here at the end of January and take a good hard look at that. If you can't be as objective with yourself, talk to one of your teammates or one of your close training partners or friends. If you're fortunate enough to be able to talk to your spouse who's also sort of in that same endurance mindset and gets you where you are, maybe they give you some unbiased advice on how to actually best handle the situation. But now's the time to actually think a little bit about why am I being challenged right now in this manner? What's causing this challenge? And what can I do to get to the root basis of it and then make a change, right? Because just struggling and pushing back, like if your body's like, you need to rest more, and you're like, I don't have time to rest more. And you're like, no, really, I'm super tired. And you're like, no way, wake up, you weakling. And you're like, call me what you want, but I'm still not going to do anything. You're just going back and forth like 2 teenagers having a fight in a cafeteria. It's not going to get any better, my friends. So now's the time to actually take some of these key lessons and let's figure out a plan going forward. Again, if you're on the team, you want to talk to me, obviously office hours, we have them. We have Coach Drop-In on Wednesdays, or you can always send me a DM if it's something you don't want to talk about necessarily in public. I'm happy to be a resource for you as you navigate it. After 20 years of doing endurance sports, believe me, I've seen a whole heck of a lot. I've done a lot of things really poorly. I've learned from some of them, and others I've just seen and socialized with other teammates, other athletes. I'm happy to be a resource or at least point you in the right direction. So I hope you enjoyed January because, my friends, it is gone like the dip at tonight's football playoff party that I'm about to go to. And I look forward to hearing from you this week. If you're not on the team, check us out at endurancestation.us. You can find tons of free resources you can sign up and get in your inbox. Become smarter, because inside Endurance Station, we know, forget believing, we know that smarter is the new faster. Thanks, everyone. Have a fantastic week. I'll see you soon.